This is DFW Home Talk, where we educate you on the real facts of the local real estate, credit, and finance markets, empowering you to make informed decisions for you and your family, achieve financial goals, and the dream of home ownership with financial security. Now your host, Kimberly Beckham.
Santa Claus has stopped by to answer many of our listeners' questions that they've always wanted to know. And so, Santa, I want to get right back to talking to you.
Absolutely.
One of the listeners sent in the question that how do you understand so many different languages?
You know, that's one of the hardest things to explain. But let me give it this way. If you have a cell phone and you travel from time zone to time zone, it knows that you've gone from Eastern time to Central time and Mountain time and Pacific time. It just knows that. I cross into a country and my language changes. It's right in my head. I don't know how it happens, but it's like I switch into Denmark and all of a sudden I'm speaking Danish. I go to Brazil, I'm speaking Portuguese. It's amazing how it happens. I don't know why it works, but it always happens, and I can understand every child when I'm in that country.
Well, that's just the magic of Christmas.
That's all part of it. You know, sometimes we just have to accept those things.
Right. And how do you get all the toys in your sleigh for all the kids?
Boy, I should go into professional packing business is what I should do. My goodness. I can pack like nobody's business. Now, I do get a lot of help. I have special elves that are able to rearrange and set things up. We have a little shrinking machine that all of a sudden, when the things are moved outside of the sled, they grow back into their full size. Then I bring them down. That's when I get down the chimney. So how do you get all those things down the chimney, Santa? They're still small until I get back into the living room. Then they all open up. It's just part of the magic of Christmas.
One of our little listeners sent this, and I hear this quite a bit, and it's a really good question. It's probably going to be a tough question for you.
Oh, okay.
What if children want to know, what if they weren't good every single day last year?
Boy, I'll tell you, that sort of refers to what I did earlier, you know, when I was telling you about those cookies and I got caught. I wasn't good that day, but you know what? The most important thing is we try really hard to be good every day, but we're not always there. We don't always succeed. So the thing that I really tell everyone is let's make sure when we get up the next morning, we're going to do the very best we can to be better than we were the day before. Even if we were good the day before, we might be able to be just a little bit better today.
And that advice is great for everyone.
Absolutely. I don't care if you're a child or an adult. We all need to keep working that way.
Right. Do you actually read all the letters that come into Santa Claus to the North Pole?
Oh, my goodness, yes. I think sometimes I wear out glasses. I tell you, it's just amazing. Everybody says, why do you wear glasses, Santa? I read so many letters all the time. I constantly am reading when I'm not supervising the North Pole. And there's a lot of supervision to go up there, you know. There's the electronic shop and the Dow factory. Well, Mrs. Claus has the Dow factory. But we work over all those areas, and we have a wood shop there. We make some wooden toys. We don't make as many as we used to in the wooden toys because there's just so much new technology now. But I do make a lot of Lego. Boy, do we make Lego. I will tell you, children, though, if you get something on Christmas, Lego, you have to pick it up, okay? Make sure you pick up your Lego.
Nobody wants to step on that.
That's right. You know, that reminds me, children, this is something you should probably do on Christmas Eve. Before you go to bed, I know you all go to bed early because you want to be asleep when Santa gets there, right? And you don't want to peek because Santa would have to leave if you peek. So we need you to stay asleep. But, you know, one of the things I ask every child to do when I visit with them is to make sure they pick up the floor everywhere so that what would happen if Santa fell and maybe broke a leg or something and I couldn't deliver toys anymore? Wouldn't that be horrible? So why don't you make sure you pick up all your toys for Santa, help Mom and Dad, and pick up all the toys? That would be great. Santa would really appreciate that.
So children, y'all heard that. Y'all need to make sure your rooms and your toys are picked up Christmas Eve before you go to bed so Santa Claus has plenty of room to work around.
Correct. That's correct, Kimberly.
So how many elves are there at the North Pole?
You know, I've lost track now. I tell you what, I actually have a human resources department there now that takes care of my elves because we've gotten so big at this point. But seriously, there's over 1,000. We've had to have a building boom up there lately because we've had to build more dormitories for all our elves. And I've had to have new sections of the Santa house larger. It has to be made larger because we can't get everybody working as hard. And we have to have room for them. If they're working too close together, things can happen and not get made right.
So what does Santa's house look like?
I'll tell you, that is a very good question, Kimberly. I wish I could have every child in the whole world just visit it. But every child sees it different. Some notice the trains that are around. Some notice the toys. Some just notice the smell. It might be all the Christmas trees we have laying around. And they're decorated so beautifully. You know, others just love to look at the nutcrackers. Oh, we have nutcrackers everywhere. And we have a lot of fireplaces, you know, at the North Pole because it's cold there most of the time. It was been in the 20s this morning when I left the North Pole. So it's been cold, you know. We're getting into that season right now. And we don't have a lot of daylight this time of year up there. We're dark about 20 hours a day right now, so we only have 4 hours of daylight. So we like the fireplaces lit just to give the rooms a little brighter look.
So do the elves work around the clock?
No. Somebody would get me in trouble for that, I think. So, no. We work and they sleep. We have regular hours that they work. Now, I will tell you, as we get closer to Christmas, I can be a taskmaster. Yes, I can make them work a little faster because I would hate to disappoint any children. And, you know, I can't always give every child every gift they want. And this is a question I get asked a lot. And, Kimberly, maybe you're going to ask me that, but I'm going to tell you an answer to that already. How's that sound?
No, thank you.
Okay. One of the questions I get asked is, Santa, I didn't get what I wanted last year, and I was very good. I really was. You know, there's only so many things that Santa can make every year. And we have to remember that Christmas is about giving and sharing. And so one of the things we need to do is remember that sometimes somebody may need that Barbie doll a little more than you do. I may not have enough to give to every child, or the Elsa doll, or the Anna doll. They're really tough. I'm making those as fast as I can this year, but not every child's going to get one. So we have to, know that sometimes we're going to get something that maybe somebody else wanted, but we're not going to get something because I have to give it to someone else. I think that's the hardest decision that Santa has to make every year is who gets what. That's tough.
That's a lot to put on your shoulders.
Oh,
to
well,
make
they're
those
big
decisions.
shoulders. It's okay. I eat lots of cookies to keep my strength up.